music is lit. I love it. Welcome everyone back on the Decoders channels for another Skribr show with not Phil that you can see on the thumbnail. I'm sorry I didn't change it, Sus. Forget about it. But yeah, Sus, welcome back. Happy to have you here. How are you doing, mate?
I am doing okay, except for the fact that I am rug pulling everybody. They're not getting the professor. Outside of that,
No.
doing good.
No, bro. No, you are my favorite.
You say that to every one of us.
Yeah.
That was my mom's parenting strategy too.
Okay, my next sentence could be "call me mom," but that would be weird to do that publicly. But yeah, no. How are you doing, man? How's life? How's everything?
So I'm doing pretty good. I'm finally hitting that spot where Web 2, Web 3 meshed a little bit, got a little bit too
nice.
Web 2, and it's time for a job change. So major switch up. So I've been a little bit set back, but it is only up, right? That's it.
What do you mean setback?
Just about like being involved in a lot of stuff. So a lot of my a lot of the trading stuff I do, its timelines have gotten zoomed out. It's okay. Let me look at slower rolling things like NFT stuff. Like okay, I'll come back in a month or whatever. Let me revisit this.
Nice. Okay.
And I'll say I think that it's actually a great thing because what it lets you do is it makes it so much easier to see what on timelines is noise and nonsense. And it's like, I've never been busier than currently.
Yeah.
But I don't have timeline stress. And it's like, oh, this is actually kind of nice.
Honestly, on my perspective on like Twitter and like social in general completely changed when I did like the 5 million impression with like meme like all of the meme page and stuff. And I said, bro, okay, that's like nothing, like there is no truth really in social. Everyone is like min-maxing impression.
Yeah.
So if you see something, it's because people want impression and that it's not like, it's not the truth or like it changed everything. Like don't get, it's the game, right? Like don't get mad at the timeline or even with meme coin and stuff. It's just like it's the game.
But I am I'm largely hoping that my new thing that I'm going to be doing is involving a little bit of travel. So it won't be super often, but I'll get to go to a bunch of different states and spend a week with clients and things like that at various times. And part of me is really looking forward to hopefully finding some of the small groups that are in Web3 space that have, their localized spots. Like I love to go to New York City for Station 3 events whenever I can. You can find those projects that maybe aren't making a bunch of noise, but you can kind of hear, oh, no, here's the real builders doing a bunch of cool stuff. Kind of be able to stop in and see what people are doing that just doesn't get the light of day. And so that's kind of like dream the impossible dream, be able to fun to go to a bunch of different places, just drop in, say hi.
That's cool. Come to Malta, bro. Can talk about decoders.
I don't know that we're gonna have any clients out there. But I would
you have me now. You have me now.
I would love to.
And GM Leeway. I mean, Leeway, if you're here, you can stay in chat or you can pop it in. You have the link. But okay, so because you have like an experienced trader, like, and we did that with Phil like last time, like 2 weeks ago. That could be cool to analyze what's the price action of Bitcoin, Solana is, and all of those little token that we like so much, and even NFT. If you're looking at NFTs, are you buying NFT right now?
I haven't bought NFTs in so long.
No shit.
But with that said, I do still have NFTs because they're one of the ones that I've effectively just I put them in the parking garage and it's like, hey, I'll see you in some time. You stay there, you chill in my wallet, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Like it's okay. So yeah, we're gonna do Bitcoin and stuff, but like the NFT market, bro.
Okay, the only one that I'll ask. Do you have you ever had a galactic gecko?
Yes, I bought one.
So I will still say to this day that's probably the only thing that I've never had that I'm like, why don't I? the only one that has reason stuck. I don't know why. There's no actual reason that I have. What are your D-Guts doing?
I'm so sad, bro.
This
Like
is
17 soul, man.
this should be a blacklisted URL for you. You shouldn't actually be able to click on it.
Yeah. You
Parental
want to
control stop you from looking at this.
It's so sad, man. It's so sad. Like why? Why did I haven't sell that shit at 1,000 soul? But anyway, like, okay, so you said Gecko, right? Gecko 20.
Yeah. I don't know
Honestly,
anything.
like the community is insane. Like I jump on the Discord, I bought one like huge huge engagement on Twitter, and the community like welcome and stuff, and you can see that they're real chat. So yeah, it's definitely like the curation of the community. It's fucking banger.
And I think that's a lot of what gets me is that so like
No.
when I am doing things on Twitter, I'm sending messages. For some reason, the handle of the actual like Gecko's Twitter, the the founder. For some reason I can't remember his name. That's terrible.
Uh, yeah. So yesterday I was talking about it. I call it genitals, but it's not that. It's particles, but I forgot.
But either way, the thing that I think always gets me is that if they make a post or whatever and you comment on it, I think every single time I've gotten some actual interaction back. Like there's
Yeah.
actually some conversation to be had there. And I just don't think that you get that anywhere else.
True. Yeah. They are the new digots. Where is he? Okay. Genuine articles.
Yes,
That's the guy, right?
Yes.
This
I
guy.
don't know why I couldn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time he makes a post on something, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
hey, I have it. No, let me throw some information on this. Every time it's a reply, it's a good conversation, it's an excellent interaction.
Yeah. No, it is Big Bang. Like honestly, for my defense, it's kind of like if you say it fast, is like name genuine articles, kind of like sounds genitals. Just saying. Just saying.
I never put it together until you said it.
Because you need the French accent, man. Like you can do marvelous things with a French accent. Yeah.
Actually, putting the words together and saying it all at once is very German of you, actually.
Genuine articles?
Yes. So saying it all together fast like you did, that's very German, I think, actually.
Genuine articles. Okay, I don't know. I will have to ask Vicky about it. I don't know if she's here, but she's German. Anything else? SMB, 30 Soul, Mad Labs, 70. Honestly, Mad Labs it's good. They're doing good. Send it.
Mad Labs is basically the same since like the airdrop came out, right? I mean, there was a big sell-off for the airdrops, and then I think that they've basically, I mean, that was clearly just priced in. Okay, so they've had a little bit of a dip.
I mean, I bought one exactly here to go to Solana Crossroad, and I didn't even went to the party. So yeah, kind of like I fucked up.
So tragic. Okay, yeah. I'm finding out that it might be your fault, Vince.
Yeah. Bro, they run 200 soul. What the fuck, man?
What day? When was that? It had to be
December 23rd. But that was the whole WOMO, right? Like the whole WOMO allocation and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Sol was actually still pretty expensive. No, that was when Sol was down at like $40. No, 50 bucks.
So, but yeah, retard, are you doing that? Are you touching that shit?
I don't know what this is. Wait a second. What are we doing? What is on your screen right now?
I mean, like, look, thread guy.
I think
it's like, is that not the same shit? Oh yeah, no, it's not even the same. What is it then? Oh, I forgot. Retard your cousin. What? Okay, I don't want to click on that.
All of these
Yes.
just seem so
Yeah.
sketchy.
But it's a huge
I know.
community,
And
bro.
that's my faith in Web3 dies a little bit every day.
What's up, Audi Room, and what's up, Mitchell? We are doing well. How are you doing yourself? Today we are going to talk about technical analysis on token, like a token, no, on crypto. But first, we just like triple check the NFT market. Oh yeah, famous Fox, for Fox sake, 10 Soyan 12. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I haven't checked their like back end where they show how much like revenue and stuff they're getting, but I have to imagine they're still pulling in an insane amount of revenue. Although I know raffles, I think, have died a lot. Raffles
Yeah,
just aren't nearly as popular as they once
yeah.
were.
Oh, they have treasury at least, right? But
They
I
should
don't
have
know the
enormous
burn
treasury.
rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 Cyan, like, bro. Okay, so where is it? Volume 6,000. Jesus. Like, bro, we had like 70,000 daily volume at some point, no?
Yeah.
Bring back NFTs. Even like the hybrid DeFi stuff, it's not really picking up. It's not reviving.
No. That's why I'm really excited for like the events that I get to go to that are like the small Station 3 in New York City, where it is just kind of like, hey, here's a panel that's put together. A lot of it is art and things like that. But you kind of get to
Yes.
see what people are doing. Like there's a lot of like D-side. Like there's a lot of really good like good actual charity foundation stuff happening in Web3.
Mm.
But Retardio Cousins makes the timeline instead. And it's just so sad.
Oh, look, we have some gecko. Wild how the best performing collection is hidden. I mean, yeah, yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's get back to gecko. Let's get back.
I summoned a gecko.
Yes. Let's talk. Okay, CSK. Let's see if you can bring the deco on the streams.
It looks remarkably close to the logo for Galactic on your tensor, doesn't it? Oh no, different background.
What?
I don't know what traits they have, I'll be honest with you. All I saw is that it's a glowing green gecko, and that's the one that's CSK in the
Oh,
they look
yes.
so similar, but I'm so wrong. I feel like they only have one trait that's the same.
Yeah, the background is not the same. And GM Petit Poof. Bonjour. Bonjour. Okay, so yeah, Gecko is killing it. Like, that will be relevant in 2025, 2026, and more. That for sure. Oh yes, okay. So I've confused myself with that stuff.
What is this one?
It's another one.
It looks the same. Is this not the same? No, it's not the same.
So I think they have the whole family. Yeah, see, remixaliated soul babies. You have the cousin. You have the ladies too. I think. Maybe that's why NFT are dying, bro.
Because they're asking for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it just reminds me
Are you in
of.
Flash Trade?
I am not on Flash Trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sad.
know. It is sad.
Uh,
So I don't think I do enough like rapid trading for Flash Trade. I do a lot more like swing holding and stuff. Like I think that
yeah, no, true.
if I did a lot more of like what the professor did, which was like he's looking at 1 minute charts, 5 minute charts. I think if I did that, I'd be much more inclined to it. But I don't have a beast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like because the APY and like the performances are bit down, like it take me longer to upgrade to 6. But I think I'm gonna trade it as soon as it's done. But like there is, I'm gonna play that NFT games with Flash Trade. Yeah, crypto notes best performing equal wash trading plus market maker. 100%, and that happened with Frogana, bro. Like this collection should not even get listed, man. Like at this point, they should just hide it.
I mean, that's the downside of Sol being a decent
Yeah,
blockchain too. Is that it enables that, right?
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
At least on ETH, it costs them a lot more to do that.
yeah, yeah, but you can. It's just like the barrier to entry of like wash trading and market make is like it just need to be more capitalized, but it's still possible, right?
Yeah.
And you can found like the whole Blur saga show us that people were putting million on the
Yeah.
table just to farm Blur point to the hope of in the hope of like a Blur airdrop. So
Yeah,
yeah,
hearing what is it, Machi Big Brother's story on a lot of
no,
that, like how many things he was buying. It's just like I think that I would have a hard time committing to that perspective value. It just seems so on a whim, right?
yeah. I mean, so why do you say that? Like, what was like his talking point?
So his talking point was actually not necessarily a talking point. It was just him talking about farming Blur, and I just know he was putting millions in on
Oh
just
yeah,
trading on Blur, right? And a lot of that being ETH based, there's just a cost. I mean, there's just a huge tax associated with just making those trades, and it was all in the mindset of, oh, I'm farming Blur points.
mm.
And I'm definitely a person I can get behind farming because it's like, hey, put in some work, show that you're an active participant,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can get the airdrop. But attacks of that level and just hoping that a team allocates the high players that much higher than you put in is just
Mm.
crazy to me. It's just so it just sounds so high risk, but also
Yeah,
that's a ton of work. It's a ton of
yeah.
work to know what you actually want to buy and sell. Um,
Yeah, until you can talk to the team directly and get some
mhm.
insiders. But also it built also his own brand on top of it. And bro, like when we had like this DGOD season 3 debacle and we had a space like when the floor went to shit in like 24 hours and then Machi like on 200 DGOD and Frank was just waiting for him to unload to crash the floor even more. Like when Frank said, "Okay, let's talk in the DM, not in a public conversation, and see how we can go." Like my feeling was like, okay, so Machi has the whole ETH NFT ecosystem into his hand, and like he had like the God collection by its balls. It's fucking crazy.
I think a lot of that was like overly villainized too, because
Yeah.
seeing all on timeline, I was like, oh no, well like here goes floor price, I'm gonna get dumped or whatever. But also, why
Mm.
would he do that? Because every dump is less money. It's not Blur points. But then
Yeah.
hearing him actually talk about how he was farming it, and basically by the time I heard any call that he did, like it was just a live stream. I don't remember who did the stream.
Mm.
But he's basically saying, "Oh no, they've all been gone. Like I haven't had any DGods for a long time." Like hearing his story of it was not villainous at all. It was just kind of like, "Oh no, I ended
Yeah.
up with all these DGods, and I really didn't want a lot of DGods, so I just like slowly offloaded them." Just going,
Yeah.
everybody made him
That's
sound like
what.
he was going to crush
Yeah.
everything, and I think the timeline really exploded.
That's also what he can do publicly and do otherwise like after the space is over too, like at the end of the day it's millions of dollars, like you're not doing that neither for like 5,000 followers. Doesn't make sense, but he has a reputation and he's like it's like it's fuck you money at this point, and they don't give a shit about it. It's just fun to build that story, and yeah, they just have fun. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah. But there is one market that you can't farm, and it's the Bitcoin market. Look at this beauty. Okay, so are
TA,
you
TA with Vince, what's happening? Tell me
okay? Okay,
about it.
okay, okay. So let me draw some lines. So we have I would draw something here because there is a zone here as a support, but the support resistance level are going down, so it's not really good. So we can have a channel like the and the high. Like okay, so we have higher high, no higher low. So, but we are also trading in a range. So basically, here I have a range. So you can take your leverage position.
Wait,
Yeah,
where's your range?
you
Is the
can take.
diagonal your range, or are you actually making a totally horizontal range somewhere inside of this that you haven't drawn yet?
I don't cut candles. Never. I
Okay.
never cut like you can draw something like that. But kind of ish. But yeah, it doesn't really make sense, right? Because and also it's at this moment it will get invalidated, right? So your range will be a flag. Like you have the flag here. So what I would do is that, whatever. So we can bet that we can go to 69 and maybe 60, and then we have the flag, and the flag is doing that. And I don't remember in TA if we're going to break it up. The resistance level of the support. I don't remember which. Can you tell me?
Say it again. I don't know that there was actually a question in that.
What? Which probability is higher when you have that kind of flag when you're going down? Are you
Okay.
going?
So the flag as you have it drawn is a bull flag. So technically this
Okay.
should break higher the way that you have it drawn.
Okay. Cool.
Right?
Are you agree with what I'm drawing right now?
I don't think what you're drawing is wrong.
Okay, but
The thing about TA is that it would be so crazy for me to say that you're doing it wrong, because however you do it is how you do it, right?
yeah.
So
And also at the moment of where you're doing it, right? Because right now I'm on the daily chart, but like 2 weeks ago I could have drawn something here, right?
right.
Like that.
So
Like the range could have been that. But 1
in
week
the
ago it would have been invalidated here.
right. And so the funniest thing behind it is that obviously the professor's a great trader. And there hasn't been a single person in the Skribr Discord that I think him and I have butted the most, where it's like, oh, here's the trade I'm taking. Or like we're talking about a trade and we think that we are agreeing, right? We're like, oh yeah, no, this has totally happened. Like it's absolutely going. And then one of us throws up a chart and we go, oh no, I saw the opposite. And then it's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
may the best man win. And so it all comes down to a lot of interpretation.
Yeah. Is that
But
better?
so so the way that you have it drawn now where it's a flat range,
Yeah.
right? That's how I do a lot of my TA work. With that said, it's hard for me to explain how to draw it on your chart. My sentiment aligns a lot with the bull flag you have.
So this one. Because like see, I don't have points here. I just have 1 point and that doesn't make a line, right? So if I have that, I would draw something like that and like tack, bam.
Right. And so I would say that overall what I see aligns mostly with this picture.
Yeah.
Which should be breaking higher. So it was one of the things that I mentioned. I do a lot more like zoomed out time frame.
Sure.
And so like this daily chart is pretty much exactly kind of where I'm looking daily, weekly, monthly. So I do a lot of like just range stuff.
Oh, it works. It match. I'm so good, bro.
So where are we going from here?
Look. Wow. What the fuck?
So what's next?
Okay.
This
So
breaks higher than what? Because that's what you have. You have a bullish pattern on there right now.
yeah. Okay. So okay. Let's go back to daily because that's okay. So what I would do like with that chart and those pretty lines is waiting for the confirmation to break 69,000 dollars, and then you leverage that 500 because then sky is the limit. Then you can take this size, you can take this line, and then you do that, and then you do that, and then you do that, and then bam, and then we're going to 100, bam. That's what's up. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
And then you can have like TP1 in the middle. Like then you can do that. Where is the rainbow shit?
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't you dare do it! Don't you dare do it!
Oh, yeah. Fibo. Okay, so no, I don't want that.
I'll tell you, you're on a lot of pressure right now because if you put a fib backwards, you are never going to hear the end of it from Donnie.
Oh, why?
Dynamics. Oh, it irks him. It irks him. If somebody does a fib backwards, Donnie is never gonna let you hear the end of it.
Is that bullshit?
Is what?
Is that bad? Oh, what did I do? What did I do?
I can't actually tell what's going on. There's too many colors and it's too small on my side. So I'm gonna find
Okay, let me delete that.
Here's the thing that I'll advise to you, right? You don't need a fib. You don't have to use a fib. If it's not a tool in your toolbox, don't touch it. You don't need to. Don't force things. So I will say that we get to our answers a little bit differently than you may have just drawn. But for the most part, I agree with what you're saying. I think that last blue line, that target at the top going to 100, that I'm a little bit skeptical on.
Yeah, me too.
But do me a favor here, right? Pull up a total chart. Just type in total, TOTAL.
Here, total.
Yep.
Total what? Is that just small?
Oh no, non-indicators. So click where you have BTC USD at the top corner.
Do you have trading views open? Do you want to do it yourself?
I can do it.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna make you work, but I think it will be easier if you do it, and then you draw your lines, and then I say no, I will not do that.
Let me see.
And
I'm on the laptop, so I don't have any of my things set up. This is just trading view.
Okay, cool.
We're in.
Okay, wait. All right. Tag. Nice. Okay, and by the way, just quickly. Okay, so. CSX, best performance for marketplace fees ends while the standard preset on the landing page is what? Best performers for marketplace fees ends while the standard preset of the landing page is set to volume and not by mark. Oh, that's okay. That's smart.
Because they want that money.
Yeah, that makes sense. Look at the quarterly and monthly chart. Okay, we're gonna do that in a minute. I'm not buying NFTs. Locking my capital into protocols. Okay. So, make us rich.
Oh, I can't do that. One thing that I was missing to point out is that if we are looking at larger charts, right? Bitcoin's hit an all-time high.
Yeah.
Recently, right? But if we go to just total, which is the entire market cap, it hasn't, right?
Okay. Oh, so you have a divergence between market cap and price action.
So let me say that this is not how I would draw this, even though this is how you drew it, which is fine. I don't think it's wrong, but you had something along these lines, right?
Yes.
If this is going to be upward breaking, I'm going to try to do this on a trackpad, but this is going to be terrible. So if you think that this is eventually going to be upward breaking, rather than picking a speculative target, even though this isn't the Bitcoin chart, I can tell you that the first spot that I'm going to be interested in is as soon as it gets up here.
Makes sense. Okay.
So that largely is kind of what I am looking for. There's a lot more that goes into kind of figuring out the one thing, but if we're looking at, let's just say Bitcoin on, I guess, Bitstamp, there's no target above, but overlapping it with what total looks like is where I am mostly interested. And so I said I'm looking at higher time frames, but I'm very much so looking for this to put in a new all-time high, because that'll be the perfect scenario where everybody says basically what you did, which is, hey, here we go, 100,000, 150,000 moon landing, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that, much like CSK said, it's important to look at quarters, monthly, and everything. And so a lot of people will claim FVG trading, right? So there's an FVG that's in here. None of that really particularly matters to me. But Q2, Q3, I think is where we're going to get pretty much all of that action. So definitely not financial advice. But
wait. Like you don't think like Q4 will be our best performing months of the year? Or are you talking about Q2, Q3 of 25?
Oh, I meant Q3, Q4. Sorry, because we're out of Q2 now.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay, cool.
But I don't think it's up only. I think that there will be new all-time highs that are printed. I've actually been saying that for some time. I tried to call that a little bit, albeit a little bit early. So a lot of what you kind of drew as your bear flag here, I tend to do as just smaller ranges, right? And so let me turn off this magnet because it's just going to keep pulling things. That's terrible on my trackpad. So a range purged from the bottom.
Yeah.
Typically, that'll push to the other side of the range. We didn't quite hit it.
Yes.
Makes new
Do
range.
you trade that? Is that something you trade? Do you trade ranges?
Yeah, they're absolutely my preference. So I'll actually hit on that in a second. But that forms essentially newer trade or newer range because you have updated information. It purged the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And we just did it again, right? And so we didn't hit the top that time. If you add that into things like people saying, hey, bull flags, whatever, any other TA that you want to add confluence to it with, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to be our bottom before going to other side of the range at the least, right? That is how I'm looking at this. Not a bull flag, not a bear flag, just as additive ranges because everything's either in expansions or it's in accumulations. And accumulations constantly want to purge each side until they make a huge reversal.
Yes.
And so if you can imagine how this kind of drops below this range here, I'm looking for this to eventually make its way to the top, and it'll do something that looks similar on the other side. Break above, everybody will say, hey, the bull flag broke higher, whatever. But that side of the range, I'm looking for that to get purged. And then I'll be waiting for some major news event, whatever catalyst ends up being, that breaks it back into this range. And once it's back in the range, I'm looking for right.
Okay, so you think that we're going to break the range, but we are going to reintegrate it and create another range?
So everything is a range depending on where you zoom in, right?
Yeah, true.
Right. So
CSK doesn't like my diagonal lines. That's sad.
But again, my trading is very different than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't trade very frequently. So if we do this example here where we had this range, right? I don't want to trade any of this. The only thing I actually want to trade is here to here.
Okay.
That's it. And then out again, right? Out again.
And
this range shows up larger. And then trade the next. It's just those. That's why I like the range trading. It's not actually, I'm trading the expansion within it, but the bulk as a body is the range.
Yeah. Why you're not trading like the on the way down to the range?
Like, are you talking about
like the from the top, from the resistance? Yeah, exactly, to the support level.
Because I don't want to go away from where my macro direction is.
Okay. So you are bullish on Bitcoin, so you only trade the resistance level of the support and up to the top of the range. Because you are bullish long term on Bitcoin. So if you expect Bitcoin to break the range, then you're still in position.
Yes, but the second part of it is that I think a lot of spots that many people go wrong is over trading, right? So everybody wants to say, "Oh, here's the top. Okay, now I'm going to short. Okay, here's the bottom. Now I'm going to long."
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't take the time to just get the data you need, right? You need to say, "Hell, let me let the chart show me something." And to be honest with you, this is actually what caught me off not too long ago. So I was basically saying, what I was looking at is actually let me see. What is this purge down here where I said that, hey, this kind of purged the range, so now we're going to go the other way? I had actually called that a bit premature, right? I called that premature in the sense of I was looking for it to be a bounce from this side and basically say, hey, we're looking at this spot and we're going higher. That is solely a consequence of me not letting the data come in, right? I try to
Yeah.
front run it too much, getting too antsy. So that's one of those spots where it's just like my style is just, hey, fewer trades, wait for it to come through, and when it
Mm.
shows itself, it's clear.
What's your portfolio performance this year?
It depends. It's gone up. It's it's not honestly fair because a lot of it is just this holding trend. Um, so I bought a lot of Bitcoin back in about this spot,
Okay.
right?
On leverage
So
on spot?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, what?
So
Yeah, leverage?
what?
On leverage?
No, a lot of spot.
Yeah, so all spot. You're all
It's
trading spot.
No, I'm not. So that's
Okay,
where
okay,
like
okay.
portfolio performance comes in to kind of a question because I like to separate everything between different trade ideas, right? And so the trade idea that I'm putting in here, which is just kind of saying, hey, we're going higher,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do anything with that on leverage. There's no, trying to take a trade like this on leverage
It's
would be
dangerous as fuck,
would
right?
would be crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I split them up into two different things. So I have spot trades, leverage trades. Um, Leverage, I would say I only am trying to do maybe 2 trades a week. And that's why like right now with like job
Okay.
switches and stuff,
Mm,
with like switching out jobs, I'm looking at this kind of stuff and just saying, okay, what can I grab and hold for some time?
mm.
Because I just want to do a spot trade. It's a little bit easier. It's much lower risk from my side because I tend to have a much higher hit rate on spot than I do leverage.
Okay.
Um,
Why?
for the reasons of like this example that I gave right here, where I said, hey, you know, I I front ran the short spot or this bounce here, like it was
Mm-hmm.
down here, but that digging deeper doesn't change my macro outlook, right? And so spot can take a little bit of a drawdown because my macro target is still the same.
Yeah,
But
okay.
but if that was leverage, it would have crushed a stop loss, right? Because
Okay.
that kind of drawdown's too large.
Okay.
Um, so it's just a little bit more forgiving that the way that I do a lot of spot trading is just identifying the major
Mm.
trend until reversal points and not trying to get in the weeds of a lot of it.
Okay. It
Uh,
makes sense, I think. I think it makes sense. No, I'm not sure I've understood why you're losing more money on because okay, so for leverage, people are using it because they want to win big fast, which is a mistake, which is why they get fucking liquidated and they lost their account.
yep.
But if you use leverage to take more position that you could, like for example, you trade like instead of just like if you have like $100 and putting like your capital, like 1% of your capital um, on a BTC trade, but you see a position on Sol, you can put zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.5 of your initial capital on BTC and Sol, but leverage 2x. So then you still have your 1% position, right?
Right. So
Um, yeah. So why
a
is
lot
different?
of because leverage relies a lot more on you from spot. You get your money from identifying the trend direction. Drawdown
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter as much. That's just a risk appetite in a sense. But
But
in
you still,
leverage, your
Mhm.
profit return is almost entirely tied to your stop loss tolerance,
Yeah,
which encourages higher risk.
but you don't have stop loss in spot.
You do, but it's different
Okay.
because your where you put your stop loss doesn't change how much you're getting back, right? Because it's 1x. Spot is just 1x. So if
Yes.
Bitcoin moves 20%, that's it. What a
Okay.
lot of people do in leverage is because they want to risk a certain amount of money, if you
Mm-hmm.
dial your stop loss in to say, hey, I want more money here, right? So like, let's say I'm doing this. If this is leverage and I'm just saying, hey, I want to risk $100, I'm going to make a lot more if my stop losses here versus
Damn.
right here,
Yeah.
but you're
Yeah.
gonna but you're gonna lose it. So it encourages higher risk. So if you don't know what you're doing, it's much riskier because people are going to force a risk reward number.
Okay.
That's pretty
Yes.
dangerous, right? It's pretty dangerous. Um,
Um, But like
Spot is
your risk reward should be always the same, right? Like you can say, okay, I'm only taking position where Like I do my TA, and then I see something, and I have like a 142, like a 2x.
Okay.
Right?
So yes, so you have a 2 to 1, right? So like it's just showing
Yeah.
a 1 to 1 right now. So you're saying, oh, I have a 2 to 1
Yes.
at minimum,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is that what a lot of people do is they'll look at this trade and go, oh, it's a 1.24. I only take a 2 to 1 trade, and they'll just dial
Mhm.
this back up. That is so terrifying. They
Yeah.
will,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Okay.
see what I'm saying is that they'll dial the
Yes.
stop loss back up just to meet their criteria.
Yes. Okay. So I kind of did that when I was. So that's why I stopped trading. But okay. So the good way of doing it is like you do your TA, you draw your level stuff, and then with your risk reward indicator, you check if you meet your criteria, and you don't take the position.
Yes,
Yes, but people are changing their tools, so they are like, oh yeah, it's the north is that way, and then they're fucked and they lose their money.
right. So
Yeah, okay, makes
to
sense.
give a context of where I tend to overlap my leverage and my spot, because I do both, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back in time a little bit and we're looking at kind of this first range that Bitcoin made, we get this purge at the bottom of the range, and okay, we're looking for a move to the other side of the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a spot trade. Just okay, we've crushed the bottom of the range, we broke back in. Let me buy spot and I'll hold it, and that's it. Set it, forget it. But I will use when I've identified that spot, when I've identified that trade on spot, is when I start looking for leverage things. And so the reason for that is that the leverage comes in on things like, hey, it's going to retest. We're going to retest this kind of an area. And so now you have something that you can actually begin to use as a stop loss, right? And you can overlap
Mm-hmm.
your ideas a little bit. But this is tricky for people to manage the risk to reward because ultimately what this is doing is just taking a leverage position on top of a spot position. But that's typically what I'm doing is that if I'm looking for, hey, here's a spot trade that I'm taking, until that target's hit, I'm zooming in on all the price action happening at the time to find
Mm-hmm.
smaller leverage trades.
Oh,
See what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yes,
And I will typically, so that I'm not just double dipping the same trade, like
that's smart.
because if I'm holding
Mm-hmm.
spot on Bitcoin, I don't necessarily want to leverage that same trade because a lot of that feels to me like double dipping. I'm just doubling the risk on the same coin, right? And
Yeah.
so while I'm waiting on that trend to happen from Bitcoin as it defines the trend, I'll look for altcoins and do the leverage trade on the altcoins and stuff like that, vice versa.
Yes. Okay.
But as far as I know, I mean that's kind of up to everybody to define how they really want to do it. That's sort of the beauty of trading is that it's really hard to just follow somebody and say, oh no, I want to do it like that person because I can
Mm.
almost guarantee it won't work out, right? You have to do something your own. I don't know why it
Yeah.
has to be that way, but it does.
No. But it's your mental game, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
mentality and your mind and how you think and stuff, right?
right.
Yeah, no, and discipline too. It's cool because again, yeah, like you can have like a how do they call that? Sliding stop loss, moving stop loss.
Yeah,
When you yeah, when you have a plan and then you change the plan based on what's happening. Like I don't remember. Is that sliding top? No, flying.
trailing.
Trading, yeah, trading stop loss. Like when they move their position based on the trade.
Well, and that happens all the time, right? So let's look at the mentality.
Yeah,
So a lot of people would have taken this, it dumped lower, and they go, oh yeah, here we go. Like it's
yeah,
going great. Let's make a ton of money. And then
yeah,
price action jumps up a little bit, and they go, okay, cool. I can keep dialing up my stop loss. I can keep moving things
yeah,
up. And what's going to happen is pretty much every time these things are going to get you knocked out. Pretty much
yeah,
every single time.
mm, yeah.
Um,
That makes sense.
but without more
And
data, like with
yeah,
the
no, go
idea
for it.
of me watching spot stuff, without going through a whole lot more charts,
Mm,
this same idea that I put back here, where I said, hey, this is where I would have been interested in starting to look at like leverage trades without going through a lot more stuff. This is about the area that I would be looking for this as well.
okay.
And if more data comes in and this just starts to go, I'll adjust accordingly, zoom in, follow data. It's one of those
Mm,
things of like, hey, where's price action going? And it's like that needs to change as data comes in.
okay.
But seeing a lot of
And
the same things here, right? Seeing
mm,
clear, purge, move up, clear, purge, move up.
yeah, That makes sense. But like, how do you trade the all-time high? As soon as we break like 70,000, like what do you do? Do you wait? Like what's going on?
You look for ways to analyze that, right? How can we look at an all-time high? And so that's exactly why I found Total Chart, and I said, hey, this is not at an all-time high, which means that until we break this, this is my next level to care
Yeah,
about.
but
Right?
after that,
After that, you're just looking at smaller candles and things. You're looking at smaller data to find local levels that get purged, right? So let's imagine this is an all-time high right now, right? Let's imagine our replay is not currently available. Great. If we look at this candle, let's imagine we're at all-time high. If we're at all-time high and our weekly prints these two candles, I am saying, okay, I'm a little bit skeptical. This is looking a little bit weaker, right? You just need a little bit more data to come in. So using that, zooming into daily, finding different, analyzing market movements. That's really it. And the truth is that you can never get it perfect. You can, but sometimes you'll get wrong, right? But these are the kind of things you're just kind of waiting on more data to happen. And so in the idea of markets are either expanding or accumulating, it's going to expand until it accumulates. And so you actually have time to wait for that to happen, if that makes sense. A lot of people will probably disagree with that. But if you're not trading something like a massive shitcoin, it usually doesn't just have a crazy spike and it's like, oh no, I missed the spike. I just lost so much money. If it's something like Bitcoin, like right now, even it going to its all-time high, well, we've been up here for a while. You've had so much time to think about it, right? In the worst case, you missed what, 10, 15%. Who cares?
Yeah.
And so that's where a lot of my side of it, that's why I like the larger swings, because I have time. I can wait. It'll tell me when it's sell time, right? I'll have a chance for it.
Nice. Okay. So that's the scenario you're playing right now. Like you think we're like next time or soon, like Q3, Q4, we're gonna break this range and we're going to where?
80 is what I want to see.
8? Okay.
80 is what I want to see. So again,
That's it.
Until we get up there, all speculative. So
yeah,
I'm also in the boat of I'd rather undersell my target than try to hit a higher target, right? But the other charts will say it. Total will tell me. Total will do it.
Okay.
There's total to it.
And yeah, also personally, I don't like all of the mesh on the candles. Like I don't care about the mesh at all. I just like draw lines with the bodies of the candles, like never the mesh, because like the meshes are like exaggeration of the market.
Are you talking about like the wicks? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, is that not the meshes? Mesh? Or maybe it's the French word. Yeah, so like see like all of the random stuff, I don't take into like the yes, what's the word for that?
Wick. Here.
Wick?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the French word. Yeah. Wick, yeah. Wick, candle. Yeah, candle wick. I'm so stupid, bro. I'm so stupid. Yeah, so like I've completely forgot the wicks or candle wicks because yeah, again, it's like it's too much variation and volatility in the market, and I only draw my pretty lines based on the bodies.
But hear me out here. You actually kind of do follow them, right? Because if you drew this on the daily, I'm going to probably get this from here. If you put this on the daily, you're respecting the bodies here, right? Well, they're wicks on the weekly. So depending on time frame, you actually do. It's all perspective, right? This is perfectly wick to wick to wick. But on something smaller, it's not. So
smart.
That's where that's where a lot of analysis comes down to the person, right? Because somebody might say, "Oh, I don't care about the wicks," and you don't because you did it on a daily chart and you said, "No, this is the one that I value. I value the daily chart." But that's why it's really can be tricky. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't know what systematic method people are using," and it's kind of like a lot of it is interpretation. There's a rule set, but then you have to take that rule set and figure out how you want to apply it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And how do you invalidate your trading method? When do you say, okay, so this setup didn't work, but I trust my setup, so it was invalidated for that time, and my setup is garbage. I need to change it.
It depends on what's actually being traded. So if we're looking at like these leverage spots, so like, taking a leverage trade from here to here kind of a thing. If we're looking at, give me a second to just frame it again. So we're looking at this range, purge the range, trade to the other side. This leverage trade from here would be invalidated on the swing low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So trading the range liquidation would be using that swing low. The same thing would apply now if we were in any position. The same thing would apply to me where this would be the first spot that I'm watching, is our new swing low, right? Spot is a little bit different because you're using different data with it. And so a lot of that comes out to weekly levels. And so let's say something like a close below something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you might get wick damage that comes down, but it's finding the candles that are important to what you're trading. And so a lot of people will look at two things here, and this is going to be typical of a lot of, like, say, liquidity-based traders. They'll say, oh, we have an FEG here, and I really care about this FEG, right? A lot of people will say that. I don't think it's the be-all, end-all, but a lot of people will also say, well, no, I care about this breaker here, right? And what it all means is that you put all the ideas together and you say, okay, a strong close below something like this is a pretty bad sign. But that's huge drawdown, right? That's massive. It's down to 50K. So it really just kind of depends on what you're actually trading, and that's where the frame comes into perspective. That's actually why I don't like to do leverage as much, because once you put it on a large chart like this, suddenly you're waiting for a trade to play out for years, and it's like, that's too long, for months.
Like there is like I think it's Belgium, but like maybe I don't think you know him because he's French, but like a high stake capital is basically made like 2 trade a year, and it's basically in and out. And this motherfucker did like a hundred of million of dollars on leveraging Bitcoin that way. It's just like, okay, it was so obvious. I put everything, and then he's doing it like again. Like, so he's doing it with like 100, 200K. And so he gets like to 10 mil, and then he put it back everything on the house doing like those kind of trade. And he did that twice, and he ended up with like half a billion, I think, or something.
This man needs risk management.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is the one thing I will say, is that, like, regardless of how confident you are, even if something is so obvious, don't avoid your risk management. Don't do it.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been like going into the other way around, and you lose 10 mil, and you never see you hundred of millions of dollars. But he's a poker player too.
Yeah.
So he put his risk management and bankroll on the side. But is that trading? Like it's more gambling at this point.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. So this is largely what I'm watching. I'm looking for things to start turning. Let's say a bit bullish here. Just going to start watching altcoins a little bit closer up. Find this kind of similar structure. Maybe take a couple leverage trades in between. That's pretty much it. I'm looking for larger moves higher, and then down. Currently, I'm thinking up then down. New all-time high, then lower. That's my current perspective.
Okay.
It's been the same perspective since back here in May. So 2 months, trade idea has stayed the same, right?
Okay. And during those 2 months, you didn't move, or you traded the range?
I only traded
on the way up.
this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Inside or just one trade?
No, multiple within. Because a lot of that is like even placing the trade here, I had one take profit level was all-time high, right? And that didn't get hit.
Mm.
And so that's one where that ends up getting trickled out
Oh,
on the way down, kind of a thing. So
okay.
in a month, but then just kind of waiting and saying, okay, that's still the target. That's still where I want
Yeah,
to see
okay.
it go. Purge the low, great. On our way back up. Take a couple more
Mhm.
trades on the way.
Nice. And are you waiting for the election for Bitcoin? Like, yeah, okay. So how do you take fundamentals on your technical analysis?
So I I do not wait the actual numbers that get released for news, things like that. Like if we're looking at actual news events, right?
Yeah, CPI and shit like
I
that.
will
Yeah.
say I don't care where these numbers come out
Mm.
at all. Do not wait it at all. What I do care about is the date and time. That's it.
Mm.
Because these end up being nice pivot points. That's all they do, right? You can chart
Okay.
everything you want, and it doesn't. I just don't care about the numbers being released.
Okay.
But they tell you when the catalyst is showing up, and that's the nice part,
Mm.
right? And it's about to get pretty quiet here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Like they all have to go to holidays, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
That's pretty much it. I mean,
Okay.
I use
That's
them as
cool.
pivot points, and that's all.
Okay. And do you trade during those times on during those dates, or do you just like sit on your hands?
So those times are the only ones that I will actually zoom in more in trade. I will actually zoom into
Mhm.
an hour chart, a 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart,
Okay.
and I will only do that for those dates and times. But I would say I probably only trade them 1 out of every 5, maybe 1 out of every 10 times. Because if I
Okay.
zoom in and I don't see something clear and just say, oh, well, this is where the volatility is going to push it really quick, then I just don't touch it. But if I look at it and I'm like, okay, this seems like this is where this is about to push, and I can just take a quick 15-minute trade, it makes it fun, right? It's like, okay, let's wait for the news to come out.
That's cool. Yeah, you just trade like a small portion of your portfolio anyway.
And that really only tends to happen on CPI, PPI, stuff like the federal Powell speaking doesn't typically tend to do it as much. It's when numbers are getting released. Is it those 10? I think that tends to be when I find the trade I'm going to take at the same time.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Cool. Okay, that's nice. That makes sense. And like all of the altcoin, like Solana, Ethereum, right now, like they follow the same kind of chart, right?
Yeah, yeah. They follow. Everything has its own little fingerprint, but Bitcoin's your trend identifier.
100%. Cool. Awesome. I love it, bro. It's cool. It's fun. I love it. So yeah, price. So you said 80,000, right, for
80's what I
Q4?
want. What's
Yeah.
that?
Okay. And okay. So 80 is what you want. Are we going to 150 and 25?
I don't know. I need more data. I don't know.
Yeah, you will tell me after the fact, right? Yeah. You're waiting for that kind of
I
like,
want
bro.
to
Like,
see us back down here first.
yeah. Oh, what?
Yep.
I don't like you.
I thought you might say that.
We are going back to 40,000 before going to 150.
I think so. But again, need more data. So
Yeah.
the way to see that, right, is push to all-time highs, break back unders, right? That is your range liquidation, trend change. And so then it just becomes trend change until it changes again, right? Doing the same thing, following your ranges, following expansions. That's why data needs to come in, right?
But what we are building right now between like the range between 50 and 70, right? That will be solid for the next leg up, right?
Yes, but what if the leg up is not a massive leg up, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
So if the leg up goes halfway, then this range will be weaker to support.
I'm not sure I understand.
Like for example, if you take like the leg up from 24 to yeah uh, 24
Like down here, this
even
is what
from
you're talking
here.
about?
That's a long one, but not like even the like before like the Yes, where you are basically, but the origin of where your cursor. Yes, exactly here. From here to the all-time high that we have done.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If we do the half of that leg up after we break 70,000, then the range between 50 and 70 will be a bit weaker than if we just fly to 150 right away, right?
Right.
Okay,
But even
okay, makes
like,
sense.
so let's take a smaller part here, right? So
Mm.
this can also be seen as a range, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, everything is one of the two. Purge high,
Yeah.
purge low, and then broke back in a strong reversal, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a weird zoomed out way, we're not doing something so different. So
Yeah.
again,
Okay.
this is hypothetical, just simply confluencing my thoughts, right? What if we do the same thing and we freaking trackpad is terrible, man. What if we purge the low, purge the high, break
Mm-hmm.
back in, strong move the other way,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah.
that's where more data comes in, because that very well might not be true. But
Yeah.
this is the one that I'm looking for, right?
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
But like, what about the ETF, bro? Like, we're supposed to have the big boys' money in,
Yeah.
right?
I will tell you, whenever that gets released, is going to be a pivot point of some kind. So it depends on where we're
Yeah.
at the time,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
That's the thing. Everybody always goes, "Oh, is it priced in or is it really bullish?" Well, that depends on if
Mm.
you're at a high or if you're at a
Yeah.
low.
Hmm. Oh, okay. And what do you think? Do you think it's priced in, or do you have to go to work?
I think it's priced in, but yes, I do have to go to work.
Okay. Okay.
Wherever
Okay.
it
So
gets released, I think it will be priced in at the time.
okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Makes sense. Bro, that was a banger. I love it. That's cool. And yeah, we're gonna move this Skribr show to TA analysis because everyone is trading shit, and I have like different point of view from people, so that's cool. And the timeline is all about meme coin, so TA is more interesting.
And the truth is that like all of us, even on the Skribr side, like we're all going to look at the charts differently. We're all going to have different
Yes,
opinions on it. That's
that's
the
cool.
nice part, is that that's okay, right?
Yes. No, no, that's I like that, and that honestly, that's why I learned TIA. Like I watched like one YouTuber, and then another one, and then a third one, and then they all had like different point of view. I said, "What the fuck?" And then I picked up like the one that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But bro, like that's yeah. Thank you so much for your time. That was highly appreciated. CSK, thank you so much for showing up. Crypto Note, etc. Petit Poof, Audit Room, everyone that showed up. Thank you so much. Leeway, I don't know if you're still here, but yeah. Thank you for your time.
Show me a gecko. That's your job. Show me a gecko,
Oh,
CSK.
okay. Slide in the DM. I don't know if they are still here because the last message was like 30 minutes ago. But anyway, that's cool. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Enjoy your walk. Enjoy your time. And yeah, see you soon.
Sounds great.
Bye.
Ciao.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. We'll see you in the next one. But before that, make sure to subscribe, like,